I'm really excited, really passionate, really happy every single day because I love learning, and every day I'm learning. And it's interesting because most people don't like school. Most people study, learn, educate because they have to, not because they want to. So here's my great question. How about you? What do you want to know? What do you want to learn about? And are you? Are you relying on other people's opinions, ideas, suggestions, other people's education to give you information about the things that you want to know about, or are you learning about it for yourself? And here's my thing. I just love the human body. I started exercising when I was 10. I haven't missed a day of exercise since I was 10. I started exercising reasonably effectively when I was 13 because I got up off the ground. I exercised to music, got happy drugs pumping through my brain because I got puffed. Loved the way it made me feel, wanted to help everybody else feel as good as I did that day, so I became an exercise professional. And now my driving force every single day is to learn more about how this human body works. How does the central nervous system work? How does the endocrine hormonal system work? How does the immune system work? How do our muscles get stronger? How does our heart and lungs get fitter? How do we burn fat? How does food work inside the body? How do we get fat out of the fat cell? How does carbohydrate give us energy to exercise? What does protein do inside the body? I want to know all this stuff, and not just know it to pass a test. So I've passed plenty of tests. I'm a qualified exercise professional. I've done multiple hundreds, maybe even thousands of courses. I've been doing this a really long time because my driving force is to learn. But I've never wanted to learn to pass a test, get good marks for the exam, and get a qualification. My driving force has always been, I want to know. I want to know how my human body works, and I want to help other people to be healthy, fit, and strong. So I have to know how the human body works. So there's my question. What's your driving force to learn? And if you want to learn about the human body, if you are an exercise professional or studying to be one, so this is a really personal thing. If you're a max exercise professional, why are you learning? Isn't that the big question? Not what to learn, because obviously if you've got a big why, the what just comes naturally. Why do you want to understand how the human body works? Why do you want to be healthy, fit, and strong? Why do you want to help other people to be healthy, fit, and strong? Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to be good at a sport? Why do you want to have a high-performing body? Why do you want to have great hair, great skin, great nails, good posture, strong teeth, a strong self-esteem, a body that can fight germs, bugs, viruses, and diseases? Why do you want to be able to fight depression and Alzheimer's and dementia and all the mental health challenges that we get? They're all big whys. And if you've got a why, then the learning surely is going to be exciting and easy. So many people share with me, Rowie, it's really hard to learn. Could there be a better statement than it's really hard to learn? How about this question? What do I want to know? Am I excited about the human body and learning about it and helping other people to be healthy, fit, and strong? And if I don't learn how the human body works, is it possible that I'll just take on other people's information? And is that one of the big challenges in the exercise profession, that people listen to what's happening on social media, they go to Dr. Google, they ask their personal trainer or their group exercise instructor or their boot camp instructor or their yoga or Pilates instructor, what should I do, how should I eat, how should I exercise, and then believe what that person tells them. But here's an even better question. Have you ever heard information from other people, from social media, from exercise people, nutrition people, and thought to yourself, that doesn't make any sense? Wouldn't it be nice to know why it doesn't make any sense? Wouldn't it be nice to know for yourself how your own human body works, so that even if you have to go to a psychologist, exercise physiologist, endocrinologist, God forbid, oncologist, any kind of ologist that looks after a specific part of your body, wouldn't it be nice to go there with great questions? Is it possible that if you are self-educated about the human body and you ask intelligent questions about the human body, that the person that you are going to would then have to be better at what they're doing? Is it possible that if you have to go to a doctor and you ask great questions, that they will give you better answers? And I ask that question specifically because I don't go to the doctor, I don't get sick, but I have and do invest a lot of time with medical professionals, Again, cardiologists, endocrinologists, oncologists, psychologists, exercise physiologists. And I'm always asking questions. And this is one of the very complimentary, beautiful responses I often get from top medical professionals. Rowie, great question. It's been suggested by some of the best brain people in the world that our intelligence is not determined by the answers that we give, but by the questions that we ask. Because if you've got a brain that's constantly thinking and analysing and trying to work it out for yourself, and literally analysing how can I do this for myself rather than having to ask somebody else, that your brain gets tougher, it gets stronger, it gets wiser, it grows, or we get neuroplasticity, which is change in the brain, we get neurogenesis, which is growing new brain cells. And if you're constantly pushing your brain to work harder, to think more clearly, be more creative, obviously your brain gets tougher and stronger as well. And that's one of the things, and I'm going to share this again. Every exercise person that I talk to, every nutritionist that I talk to, every medical professional that I talk to, I don't tell them, what do I know? And I'm studying every day, learning every day. I'm fully qualified, I'm overqualified even, but I'm not interested in what I already know. That's ridiculous. If I'm talking, that's what I already know. What I'm really interested in is what I don't know. What I know has got me to where I am now. What I don't know is going to get me further. So one of the challenges I've got, particularly with exercise professionals or this industry, is I hear this every day. Sadly and embarrassingly, I hear this every day. I know that already. I've heard that before. I don't need to study. I just need a bit of paper because I already know how to be fit and strong, or I know how to help people to be healthy. Could we reconsider the implications of that kind of statement? First of all, if I tell myself I know that already, how could I possibly learn any more? If I think I know it already, could there be a better way to explain it? Could there be a more simple way to understand it? Could I learn more about that topic? Are there other people who know more about that topic than I do? And I can say, look, I'm an exercise professional. I've been doing this for over 40 years. I'm healthy, fit and strong. I'm in great shape. I love my life. I'm one of the happiest, most positive, healthiest, fittest, strongest people I know. And here's what I do know that I want to keep learning is I don't know. I have a constant drive to learn how the skeletal system works, the muscular system, the central nervous system, the immune system, the digestive system, the cardiovascular and respiratory system. I want to know how they all work together. I'm constantly asking questions because I want my body to keep getting fitter and stronger. How about you? I have people who rely on me to keep learning. We keep learning more about the human body, and what we used to know, and here's a really interesting thing, anatomy and physiology hasn't changed. There are no more bones, no more muscles. We're not going to grow a second heart. We're not going to get 4 patellas. We're not going to have an immune system that isn't inside our bones. The body's not going to evolve from anatomy. But how anatomy is applied is something that's really fascinating to me. And what's really fascinating is how many people are not interested in applied anatomy and applied physiology. A lot of people learn their anatomy and physiology to pass the test. And I get that because that's one of the things that I used to do until my driving force to help people overtook my desire to pass a test. So there's my question. If you are an exercise professional, if you are a max exercise professional, it's never about passing a test, getting it right. In our profession, there is no right. Doesn't matter which piece of science you pick out. Even the anatomy, which is a set science, it's how you apply that to somebody's life and make an exercise program something that they can stick to for the rest of their life. So the reason we learn anatomy and the reason we learn physiology isn't that so that we can apply it to an exercise program, to an eating plan, and then help somebody to be healthy, fit and strong because it fits in with their lifestyle, it fits in with their headspace, it doesn't screw with their headspace. A lot of information given out in the exercise industry, and I can't call it a profession, a lot of the information given out, the person believes it. They sincerely, passionately believe it, which is awesome, but they preach it at somebody without really understanding the implications of What if this doesn't fit into the person's lifestyle? What if I tell this person they can't eat that food, but it's their favorite food? What if I tell this person that they have to eat this food, but they don't like it? What if I tell this person they have to eat at a certain time of the day, but it doesn't suit their lifestyle, or they just don't want to eat then? There's not just the anatomy and physiology and the science of getting the human body healthy, fit and strong. It's how does that fit into the way the psychology of a person works. And that's why I have such an interest in neuroscience, the study of the brain. How does the brain fire the rest of the body so that the rest of the body can perform? And isn't it interesting that when you perform, when you get puffed, when you lift heavy, that you pump more of those chemicals into your brain that help you think clearly, that help you study better, that help you be more creative. So here's a great suggestion for what it's worth from a lady who learns every day and really excited about it. I'm committed to learning. So as an exercise professional, every single day I commit at least 5% of my time, at least 5%. So there's 24 hours in a day. 10% is 2 hours or 2.5 hours. I always do at least an hour, if not more, of direct study about anatomy and physiology and how the human body works. That's a non-negotiable standard in my life. I will not miss. Now, if you're not qualified and you're wanting to be qualified as an exercise professional, I can't understand why you would commit less than that. But whatever time you do commit, whether it's 5%, 1%, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, doesn't matter. Why not make a commitment? Every day I'm going to learn. Not just to pass the test, not just to get qualified, but to actually learn how does the human body work so I can really help my clients to be healthy, fit and strong. So for me, number one is a daily commitment. It's a discipline. But as I always share, for me, discipline is an exciting word. Because how do you feel when you are disciplined? You do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, even if you don't feel like it. How do you feel when you have a day like that? The reverse of that, if you're supposed to study and you don't study, how do you feel? Oh, I didn't feel like studying today, so I didn't. Well, how does that make you feel? Don't you feel, I feel I can't do it, and I don't. I'm committed every day to learning. So my discipline is do what you should do when you should do it, even if you don't feel like it. I never not feel like it because I want to keep learning. So there's the driving force. Why, Rowie? Why do you learn every day? Because I bloody want to. I'm excited about it. So at least 5% of my time is committed to learning every single day without fail, sometimes more, sometimes much, much more. The next thing I do before I study, before I learn, is I get puffed. I sprint, I punch the bag, I lift heavy, or a combination of all of those, so that when I do study, when my brain has to be ready to learn, it's open to learning because it's filled with brain-derived neurotropic factor, which is fertilizer for the brain. So I learn better, I take information in better because my brain's ready for it. The next thing is I never sit down. For me, I can never understand why you'd put the body in the seated position. Why would you cut the body in half and restrict circulation and blood flow? Why would you take the biggest muscles in your body out of play? Your glute maximus, medius, minimus, hamstrings, quads, they're the biggest muscles in your body. When you sit down, they don't work. They don't have to do anything because they're being supported by whatever your ass is sitting on. The other thing that doesn't work well is your abdominals and your lower back muscles because they're being supported. When you're in the upright position, everything flows better. You've got better circulation, better blood flow, better oxygen supply. Everything just works better. And that's not just coming out of my imagination. There's been so many interesting studies done now on what happens when you're in the upright position versus the seated position. And the neuroscientists will share with us passionately that the brain works 7% or more better. We think better, are more creative, we're better at what we do when we're in the upright position. Now I'm in an even different position because I'm at my desk, which is a tread desk. When I'm working, I'm moving at the same time. So I'm now walking at 5.4 kilometers an hour while I'm studying, while I'm learning, while I'm doing my work. So not only am I in the upright position, but I've got constant blood flow and constant oxygen supply going all the time. I'm moving all the time. So dedication and commitment and discipline to learning. Get puffed before you learn. Learn in the upright position. Lying down, sitting down. It's comfy and all that, but your brain doesn't work very effectively in that position. One of the reasons why I can't understand school desks. Why do we put kids into a desk and sit them down when the human body is meant to stand up? The next really important part for me for learning as an exercise professional is why am I doing this? obviously don't have to pass the test. I've been qualified for a very long time, multiple times over. But if you are learning to become qualified, why would you learn to pass the test, do the quiz, do the assignment, do the mission? Isn't it about your client? Wouldn't you ask yourself, this information that I'm taking in at the moment, how would I explain that to my client? How will I explain that to my best friend? How will I explain that to my children? I love being able to do this. If you explain something to a child, 6, 7, 8-year-old child, and then they can explain it to their 6, 7, 8-year-old friend, isn't that a perfect example of I've made it simple and easy to understand? A lot of the people in the exercise profession use big words and make everything really complicated and hard to understand. One of the reasons why people don't like to learn, because the stuff that's being delivered is being delivered in a way that doesn't make any sense because the words are too big and it isn't related to real life. And that's the important part, particularly about your Max program. But as an exercise professional, everything you learn, shouldn't you be able to relate that to how can I help my client? How can I explain it to the people in my life so that they can be healthy, fit and strong for the rest of their life? So that it's the outcome of the education, not the pass the test bit. I don't want to learn to pass the test. I want to learn so that I can apply it and get better at what I do. And that's one of the beautiful things about being an exercise professional. The more we learn, the more we know, the more we can help people. But ultimately, doesn't that just put us in a position where we can ask better questions and help people to think for themselves? And if you learn with that in mind, not how can I tell somebody what to do, but how can I explain this to somebody in a way that they can work it out for themselves? I always ask this question. If you are, there's a weird infomercial comes up at 3 o'clock in the morning on television for a new piece of exercise equipment or a new dietary plan. Wouldn't it be nice if you and I can figure out for ourselves whether or not that's safe and effective, but we can explain it to other people to be able to figure it out for themselves. So your client's watching television at 3 o'clock in the morning, a bizarre piece of exercise equipment, new one comes up, and they go, no, I know that's a stupid piece of exercise equipment because my exercise professional explained to me how to work it out for myself. So why do you learn? Could it be a dedication and commitment to learning because you want to be better at what you do, you want to know more, you want to be able to explain it to the people in your life? What if you made a daily commitment to learning? What if you did it even if you didn't feel like it, which I can't understand, because why wouldn't you want to learn about how your human body works? Get puffed before you study in the upright position, study with an outcome and a result in mind. And here's another great question. Everything that you learn, are we open to more learning, and are we open to learning in a different way, learning it in a way that's easier to understand? So even if I go back to, let's say, the endocrine system or the central nervous system, which I'm studying on a day-to-day basis, even if I think I know it, even if I could pass a test, I'm still thinking to myself every day, how can I make this easier to understand? How can I make it easier to explain so that people actually get it? And that way I'm forcing my brain to keep learning. And I'll ask that question again. As soon as I say, I know that already, or I've heard that before, or I don't need to learn any more about that, what happens to my ability to learn more? So if you want to be a healthy, fit, strong human being, how about learn how? Don't rely on a social media expert because they probably don't know how. Is that possible? Don't rely on your doctor. Don't rely on your exercise physiologist. Don't rely on your personal trainer. They might know, but they might not. And even if you are relying on them, wouldn't it be great to ask great questions, better questions, more intelligent questions to force them to give you more intelligent answers? Learn how your human body works, and would that be kind of a really cool thing to know? It's one of the things I get really excited about when I'm sprinting, when I'm lifting heavy, when I'm punching the bag, when I'm out doing physical activity, when I'm working at high intensity. I'm always thinking to myself, what's working? What systems are in play? Which energy system am I in? Am I phosphate, lactate, aerobic? Am I burning fat? Am I burning carbohydrate? What's coming out of my mouth when I breathe out? How does fat come out of my body? And all of those questions are so exciting because I relate them to my own body and then I relate them to my client's body. And so I'm constantly thinking, how does this work? Why does it work? How can I explain it better? How can I understand it better? How can I learn more? And could that be a really cool way to get healthy, fit and strong your way, knowing that you've learned your anatomy, you've learned your physiology, you've learned how to communicate it effectively, and you want to keep learning. Wouldn't that be awesome? Woohoo!